Catface between the maps would be, we need to play with aggression. Let's try to leverage our double duelist and play with that type of speediness and proactivity on split. But now for Puppy Thieves, you're coming out with the Sage, and Sage insta walls. We saw what Asuna was able to do as well, just to make things very difficult for you to take extremity control in past games here on split. Hopefully here, Catface could leverage that a little bit more and making sure that they're baiting out that util on that side as well for once they take here their attack side. That said, though, on defense first, they're going to see that type of aggression, extremity control with the Jet on that side for Kestrel. Trying to seize need towards that main, so you're trying to funnel everybody towards middle, but that is just going to be information gathering as we have this wall up from Elaborate.
That's why and we talked about this in the green room. I'm so surprised about the result of that previous map. Catface had some serious potential and really good talented players, and we'll see how this goes. Getting on this high ground now. Zoriental, I mean, was just so accurate before, but it's Kestrel that puts down 2 on the drop. And now it's the Puppy Thieves that are getting dropped. This is really a kick in the jaw. And now Catface sit pretty on the defense to be able to play on this high ground, a good angle to try and retake from. So he'll have Luna Fox on the approach, but no utility except the paranoia. Scary Shark need to swing off the box, and no, just the immediate stoppage from Catface to get the retake and their first round.
Beautiful for Catface as well. They literally played it just like they were playing against dogs, making a lot of audio noise and then forcing woofers to peek out against them, and they just won with the power of numbers on that side. But beautiful start from Kestrel too. Basically told WOOF to sit when they were trying to execute towards that B site. They did a great job baiting that utility in the first place, though. On the A side, they knew now that the wall was propped up on middle. There wasn't going to be enough here utility to hold towards this B site with only Kestrel with the Ghost, but Kestrel with the Ghost is good enough. Beautiful two-piece. And that is an important pistol round that is much needed, especially after witnessing the first map here of Ascent.
Launching thorns.
Yeah, just having to get past the obstacles that Elaborate is going to leave behind, and talk about this one, an outlaw flash for the moment. Puppy Thieves get into garage. Now Kestrel has a heads up, another flash, but still gets the shot that matters. A first blood as Puppy Thieves use the Sage Wall, swing across, but the Fly's Wall cuts everybody off to be able to trade off terror in that moment. Puppy Thieves now not able to deal with that Sentinel.
Kind of like that too as well, when you have this wall being placed up right at the entrance and you're trying to cross it. The wall comes up, it already breaks one block of the Sage Wall, so it allows the players on Heaven, Hell, and also New Box to still support here at the front side of B. But this is just you know, potato. It's a simple round, should be a simple round for Catface because it is the anti-eco. Kestrel getting a nice little opener with the Outlaw, and you're just trying to hopefully maximize orb control. So I love right now that Luna Fox was the one trying to go for the hunt, trying to find her opponents here, and gets picked off, but still puts the orb up and is halfway now to that Nightfall.
Just tossing away the weapons.
30 seconds left.
Interesting
Yeah,
here,
that's fair.
just wanting to deny that, and Paranoia right through the spike carrier. Takes Puppy Thieves will take a second. More thorns in the sides of Puppy Thieves if they decide to go through mail, and
We're all over-rotating towards A. They might be able to apply B now. What?
10 seconds.
right. Okay, wait. Okay, this is shaky. 5 seconds though. That's gonna be the real problem. Puppy Thieves trying to bail out their spike carrier, but really, Elaborate will still finish it off. So Catface in a much better spot.
It was all part of the plan. Just pretending you're rotating away so that Elaborate could come back and pick up the 2 kills, get the defuse, and then get closer to the Steel Garden. That was all part of the plan. I respect it. Copium. But no, I felt like they definitely should have kept somebody inside that B side just to get the information and making sure where the positioning of Puppy Thieves would be in case they had to play a little bit weaker in that site. As you hear the plat, you hear the positioning, you hear the people moving across. But thankfully, again, it is the anti-eco, so it was easy for them to pick that up and clean that up. And they're looking now for a mid-fight. So both Season 8 with the Outlaw. Should see a walk down with some support moving through as well from Kestrel to start.
in Puppy Thieves, I mean, they like to use a lot of these flashes from their sky when they are sensing a fight, and Yara has been so good at setting them up for success, and here it is. Slow orb now towards Vents, and oh, the denial on Kestrel was huge. That's an outlaw that's been dropped. Now you block off Vents, you're committed towards B. Lunafox will be there to try and prevent it. The Lurk is also having an impact across the world here, but the Puppy Thieves are still infiltrating, and they put Catface in a kennel. So this works out beautifully for the first rifle round for the Puppy Thieves.
Yeah, though the biggest win con had to be Kestrel picking up that kill from MEOW, but looks like she got distracted by a little bit of piece of utility that was just moving across that ground, and usually that should be a distraction for dogs, not for cats, unless it was a laser. Maybe it was a laser beam. So she looks down, crosshair placement gets broken, Terror gets the easy pick, and then the rest was just all that they wrote here for the side of Puppy Thieves. Easy entries towards that B site. Not any damage was done, really, except for armor for the side of Catface. So this is a pretty strong flawless to take for Puppy Thieves to start grouping up some rounds for their side on the attack.
Building up that economy for the long road is absolutely going to matter. I don't think this is a map where yacht play is going to be as much of a factor, I would think, at least not on the attacking side. We saw a lot more of those purchases from Zoriental, but it's also Catface never had a chance to get a leg up when it comes to Ascent, so now that garage fight. Oh, that nade too, and the damage through the wall. Puppy Thieves, I like that trap play off the slow orb. They obviously are leveraging Terror super well, but this Vise wall or just any kind of Vise util was something that has hindered them in the past. So I don't mind Puppy Thieves taking a second. They are getting blocked off by smokes, so this is forcing the Puppy Thieves to hesitate as the boom bot clears the way, and just the spam through the smoke, I guess, is gonna bring success to the Puppy Thieves. And not just that, the Seekers will lead them to exactly where the rest of the Catface members are, but Lunafox is traded out. Puppy Thieves only have 4. It's gonna take a miracle for Catface to overcome this.
And they have all the information already for Puppy Thieves after this plant. The other Seeker went towards the vent, so they know now that the Elaborate's on this flank, and Raze was already shooting towards that back of the site earlier on, so you're in a prime spot to win here for Woofers.
Scary Shark just trying to catch, drop down, find an angle on someone who's not looking. I like this save because Catface,
yeah.
They need it.
Yeah, definitely the smart play to do. Well, again, you had a flawless from Puppy Thieves in the previous round, and this time around you have a flawless take pretty much going into the B site. Beautiful wall bangs too to just understand where the position would be from the side of Catface when you're throwing these aggro smokes to block vision. So players are probably going to set up a crossfire from behind. If you're able to avoid a sky flash, then that probably gives you a prime position to have value off the crossfire setup, so they just spam through the billboard and get a pick there on I think that was Blue Owl towards that back of the site. And look at that. That's why it's also very annoying to play with that type of composition so far here. Just great ways to counteract on the one-way smokes that's being thrown on defense when you're trying to take that line. So now you're going to continue to try to disrespect it. I like this from Catface. Don't give them the opportunity for the side of the attack to condition that you can't control B main. So you take that out of respect, and then you could start funneling him back into like the Vice util over on the A site.
You would think that kind of trap play from Puppy Thieves would discourage Catface from, like, setting up both their duelists like this, but based on this corner position from Kestrel, this is more about reacting to Puppy Thieves taking Garage, which now pretty quiet after that initial flash, and I like that crouch. Kestrel wins that one against Scary Shark, and Puppy Thieves now need to make a decision quickly, because now you don't know if Garage is going to start to get pushed.
What I don't like right now, though, is this position from Elaborate. So, yes, she's watching an off angle, but at the same time, all that util is made for her to stall. She needs to fall back right now, and thankfully, that is the best option so far.
Wow, even when the defense had the first shot, Zoriental gets the last laugh. Steel Garden as the Puppy Thieves try to escape and find some safety on the other side. They'll get the res. They're up to 4 equal numbers, and Catface are around and well. 38 seconds for Puppy Thieves to conceive a different side of the map if they would want. thinking they just got to keep committing. Maybe
30
they
seconds
feel
left.
happy they've drawn out enough util from Catface, but there's more, including that buys wall that has really hurt Puppy Thieves in the past. Oriental doesn't even need the support, and the Sage Wall comes up so Terror can still assist on the high ground.
Spike down.
Catface, though, at a distance are quite scary. It's the crunch from Blue Owl and Raven to save the day.
At least it works out in the end too. Even if we were a little bit whiffy from the Vice Elaborate inside the A site, you still had 3 other players from the rotate initially when it was I keep trying to think Blue Waters because I'm just thinking of so many animals right now. I mean the GCs, but of Puppy Thieves. Right after this pick, they're trying to stall. They were forced to stall because of the Steel Garden as well. But there was still 40 seconds left in the round. But we went a little bit too quickly to try to re-hit towards the A side. So you didn't really create the sense of paranoia on the side of the defense to force them to over-rotate. And that was an easier hold in the end for Catface.
Yeah, and St. Claus can just adjust the wall or just adjust their focus. When you're blocking off main, you would go through ramps, and now St. Claus got way more than they wanted from this, and the Seas will just delay things shortly as St. Claus managing to rejoin the flock, but Catface are starting to take some map control on the extremities. Scary Shark dodges the bullet. Paranoia doesn't make contact. The high-low is beautiful from Catface, and now they could pinch through B main, come up from behind the Puppy Thieves, who are setting up a perimeter on the B site with the spike planted. A moment for St. Claus late into the round to have some flashy moments. Being alive in this round has been pivotal. Despite Viper's Pit not going to be leveraged in this round, but Garage now being addressed, and Puppy Thieves lose mid-control. That's the last thing they have to worry about. And wait a minute, this is becoming a big problem. 2 versus 2. Elaborate. Gonna rejoin the angle here with Luna Fox in a 1v1 and make it 3. As the defuse comes through, Catface will double the score.
A miscomm too as well for Miara. Because of that double swing, there was a little bit of a trade-off, but then you thought here, because of the instant trade, that the last person alive was still towards that pillar and not towards that B main. I was just about to mention that the biggest hold and the biggest fight in the pulse plan was beautiful there from that lurk from St. Claus, because that doesn't allow for you to move as quickly back into the flood, into the B main, into the B site, and then you already knew here that Catface are trying to take B main control in the first place, so you keep them contained at that spot. But then after the recircle back from Luna Fox and get the pick from Ramen, and then now opening the gap a little bit more here to allow for them to retake that site. It becomes a little bit of luck in the end from miscomms from the side of the Puppy Thieves, but you'll take that round for sure here for Catface, who are definitely looking a little bit more revitalized versus that first map performance.
Now St. Claus now has a team to rally behind her for a 1-4-1 push, I should say. But who's gonna feed the beast behind the op? Goodbye from Kestrel and goodbye Terror, as the dog gets a chase down, but Puppy Thieves not quick enough to pounce. And Zoriental's not gonna satchel in. No showstopper, but that will be what's on the menu next.
Losing Terror already early too is going to be a little bit difficult for Puppy Thieves to really set up that wall and for fast splits. So I like at least that we're being proactive for Catface to figure out the information in the mid round, and already to her 2 sets of shots. The biggest thing right now is Scary Shark. I think she needs to start activating and fight this 1v1 over the B site so they could potentially re-hit back into A. You have double inserts right now across the map from the attack side, so it's both of the Omen and the Viper that has to force it out in. There you go. Scary Shark does a perfect job. Shoots towards that B main, forces out the race out,
left.
and then we're already moving towards the A site.
Yeah, you can't even deal with this buys wall on the B side, and how are you going to deal with this Nightfall? It marks 2 of the 3, I think, of the Puppy Thieves. Showstopper gets Oriental. High ground control to watch over and bail out the spike carrier. And now on the other side of the smokes, Oriental will regroup, and now you have 2 against the one of Elaborate here in the corner, and there's just no help coming. Catface, they're just in a lot of trouble, but wait, Elaborate emerges and takes care of business with 30 HP. I think business is about to be done. Blue Owl, though, will help things out, make it another 1v1 to decide this, but time is of the essence. Being as quiet as a mouse. The defuse is being held, and Scary Shark denies, and Puppy Thieves at arm's reach.
It was supposed to be a clean round there for Puppy Thieves in the first place with how they executed from, again, selling that fake, the question mark towards that B side. Then they move into an open side onto A. Luna Fox had pretty much the Nightfall to try to just stall as much as she could instead of using it for the retake. Yet you still get value from the Showstopper on the top of Heaven. And then suddenly, 2 or 3 players coming back from Catface from the full rotate on B almost made it very possible there for them to close out that round. So a nice little attempt, but by Catface, but it's still at least going to be the round here from the Puppy Thieves. The jiggle easier there for Scary Shark onto Luna Fox. This is going to be a half buy that we currently have here for Catface, so this should be an easy round here for, Puppy Thieves.
So the Seekers come out and you're trying to listen in for these shots, and now the Puppy Thieves will surge through the middle of the map. You have Catface in submission. Sage Walls too, to just feel safe and secure in these angles that you don't have to leave inserts. You can just be as a stack, be as a death ball, and create that fortress as Catface sit on the other side of a smoke. And now they start to tear through the Sage Wall. They're coming in at a good angle here for Catface, but see if Kestrel can get mobile with the judge, especially taking out Terror could be the start of something good, as now Catface are gonna just flood in, but walking right into the crosshairs of the Puppy Thieves.
Yeah, an easy round there for Puppy Thieves to slow down the Russian from Catface with the lower buy. I mean, everybody just had their own partner. Get it? Partner?
Okay.
We just played the buddy system, or should we call it the Forenz system? Get it?
Kill me.
But let's see what happens now with the gun round. A little bit more important here, actually, for Catface, because they have a lot of big ults available as well. So this would be a perfect opportunity for them to cycle a little bit of that ult and try to run away here with this half. Again, this is, you know, Catface's map, or sorry, the Puppy Thieves map pick. They haven't been the best at it so far, but they did have some very close games against the top teams that we currently have in GCNA, in SRG, and also FlyQuest. So a 10-13 loss every single time is not too bad when you're playing against the top teams. And now with this new comp, you're hoping to, you know, keep your opponents on their heels.
Oh, they all just line up like that and come down like a house of cards. And St. Claus has always just been adjusting how aggressive, how passive they want to be as that lurk, and is more consistent and always providing a good opportunity. And this was going to be a good opportunity for Puppy Thieves because they're also playing this round with a res. And leveraging those Sage Walls have been nice. Okay, you're just throwing a nade at yourself, but Puppy Thieves are going to get the plant. Could have given it to Zoriental just to get closer to the Showstopper, but you know, whatever, I'm just nitpicking, and Zoriental kind of frags out anyway, so.
You're right, though. They should have done that. If you want to min-max a little bit, too, in terms of securing the rest of the half, in terms of adding more ults and more win conditions for your side, especially with how they've been so dominant on the first map of Ascent, they could be confident in the gameplay as well, but I just feel like maybe they were like, okay, well, we don't want to lose the space that Zoriental picked up on the top of A Heaven, because it was nobody else playing in that spot to watch that lane, so somebody else had to plant. But I do agree with you here, Lemon Kiwi, that they should have found some way to be a little bit more, you know, take their time, and then just making sure that they cover that up so that Zoriental can get the plant. At the end of the day, though, still ends up being a nice little lineup from St. Claus towards that A main. A walk contact, the walk glitch that we call a lot during this stage, is well punished, actually, from the off angle from the position. You can even see the ping there coming on that mini map saying, okay, well, that's where St. Claus was playing. We cleared the wrong corner, and then we just lost a full A site because of that and lost a round because of that.
And how they're gonna adjust to this lurk, because it's been a lot of first bloods now for Puppy Thieves, and they still have the res because they didn't need to invest this. You really got to put pressure on Puppy Thieves to make them use these ults. Is another double push, and oh, the timings of crossing through the smoke. Another adjustment from St. Claus, and they could just be walking into her claws, and it's just deja vu. The same chapter repeats itself. And that opens up the A site. Now they cross through the middle of the map. Some forgiveness thanks to the res. You force out the ult, but it's Puppy Thieves where the sky's the limit here.
2 rounds in a row, we just saw a catastrophe on that double walk towards A main from the defense of Catface. And again, opens up the site. It's an easy hit-in for Puppy Thieves, who are literally stealing all these sites and these kills into positioning. And I mean, you have the credit on the different angles that St. Claus keeps playing. And almost at that point, you might think the next round, they might add a third player and you just condition them to go into a different round. So this is a very nicely played rounds by St. Claus so far.
Now, 5 HP, and the dream is to keep the Vandal. And that will be 4 rounds strung up in a row from the Puppy Thieves, despite an early lead from Catface, 4-2 at some point. Now Puppy Thieves are turning it all around, and this is series point for the Puppy Thieves, so Catface are not gonna be in a good spot unless they turn it around here.
Yeah. And that's why I feel if they want to try to salvage something here for, as they had a strong lead in the first place, a strong start, should I say, by winning Pistol and Anti-Eco, maybe a timeout here would be useful for them to try to get something done here on this 12th round. And again, would the answer try to have more bodies to really try to punish the solo play from St. Claus towards this A side? And if that's the case, then it's just easy for Tammy to talk back to the team and say, well, yeah, let's just go into the opposite side then, because no matter what, it should be weak side if they're going to invest 3 players just to try to punish St. Claus, or you just fight power with power on that side as well. I mean, look at this round. They're about to have 4 players to try to punish St. Claus on A site.
And just how St. Claus is able to play around either her own wall or an Omen smoke. Like, Puppy Thieves are setting each other up for success. Whether it's the Sage and the Raidiant too. Like, there's some really cool trap plays, and we already saw so much of that on their Ascent defense. Now a different look here. Sometimes they like to wall off the vent sides. Now this time, MEOW will be closed for business, and Puppy Thieves gonna be loud. They're gonna be proud. As Catface hoping play off their flash from the Vise, but showstopper from the defense puts a stop to the Puppy Thieves, who now cower and hope to support their spike on the re-rotate, but also their own Sage Wall is hindering them from changing their minds.
Yeah, it's thawing up right now, though, so they should be able to break it, and St. Claus, again, does what she does.
What? Almost an ace! So she makes it look easy. Everyone just lines up perfectly. KDA is gonna go nuts after this. And Puppy Thieves, well,
Spike planted.
hoping to salvage this, and St. Claus has done enough work to make it winnable after Catface basically had a 5 versus 3. If not, an even better start. Now it's Raven and another animal, hoping to just play like one too. Spike tapped. Anyone home? Puppy Thieves not even gonna peek. Man, stoic as ever. The nade will force one out of position, and a missed opportunity for Raven to at least get one. Puppies are as clean as ever.
Last round.
The fun part about it too is when the paint shells came out, you saw that Terra jumped across, and it's still only Terra that solo swung to fight the 1v1. So you went for a ping pong swing off the tap of the orb, or the second tap of the spike, or now going into the 1v1. So just the heads up plays displayed here so far by Puppy Thieves in terms of the micro is quite nice, in terms of trying to solidify their rounds and making sure that they have it in their favor. And now here comes an important 12th round where Puppy Thieves are trying to punish here towards this B side. Almost did, as you saw the jump spot there from Blue Owl. And that's going to slow down the round a little bit here because they couldn't get the early punish. So I like that we're being proactive with our initiator util to figure out where the mid-round could potentially be. So far, it's Catface getting ready here for a triple push and try to go for a trap play into an aggression of Puppy Thieves on mid.
Yeah, because when you run the double duelist on defense, you have less options for info, and I'm not seeing a Raven boombot when it comes to the B garage. It's been a lot of jiggle peaks, and it's been punished. So Catface have to deal with this contact play. Now it's off the flash, off the Sage Wall, and a quick exit, and a couple whips from Kestrel, but adjusts with the Vandal and rejoins the side of their fellow duelists. Happy with at least taking down one of the Puppy Thieves, especially one of their best players, but with the pit is up, it barely maintains,
Oh, wow.
and Scary Shark will defend as best as they can. as the spike gets planted. 3 versus 3. But Blue Owl probably has to go and bait, stepping into the pit, and Miara just so aware. Now spots the barrel, almost the third. Now it's Elaborate against the world. Make it an 8-4 half for the Puppy Thieves.
What was going on there? Unfortunately, they went for the Steel Garden inside that pit and didn't try to flood as fast as they wanted to inside B. Instead, they tried to fight around and outside of it, thinking that you're going to try to run outside of the pit, which you sort of did, but Scary Shark was unaffected by the Steel Garden. She gets a beautiful pick on the top of Raptors, and then those that are waiting inside the pit waited way too long. At that point, Miara, the gun wasn't jet anymore. She pulls it out and gets an instant kill onto that one too when he finally start to activate inside that pit. So it was just unfortunate on that timing, and as we were looking at such a strong start for Catface in the beginning, they lose 6 rounds in a row. And now it's actually up to Puppy Thieves here that currently has a perfect day.
Well, almost perfect half, I guess, for Puppy Thieves. It's no 11-1, but we'll take it. Now it depends on how deal with this Prowler and kind of what support can come out of St. Claus, who has had such a fantastic split and terrors. Okay, noticing maybe there was just one knifing down the wall, and then when you heard 2, it was too late to escape. Now an opening for Catface to play with, hoping to at least take another pistol, despite having that good start. They really need to play catch-up here. It's turning into a game of cat and mouse, and now Ramps is being pushed. Elaborate is going to have a lot on her plate. And now the dog comes down, the dog steps down, and Elaborate at least does good enough damage. It sends up Raven to soar, and to play anti-flash like that was crazy. Oh, Scary Shark is not even done yet. Smoke will dissipate, so inspire Catface to maybe follow through on where Scary Shark could be going. Double swing. It's perfect. Catface take the pistol.
Dude, that was such a clean shot there by Raven. I was about to mention that Catface didn't have any real util left going into the pulse play except Blue Owl with a refresh smoke that they could potentially use. It was perfect right there for Raven to get this pick. I mean, look at this. Oof! You've got to be kidding me on that one.
I can't. Oh, launch me into the sun. Is this a timeout?
Nope.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Let's go. Let's go. 4-1, and look at this lockdown.
Yeah, just a little bit of a flood outside and try to punish your opponents, but this is just basically Lunaflux that's going to stay outside of B, trying to listen for some audio cues towards that B main. Instead, she hears it all towards that front of that B site, so it's easy right now for Catface to activate into this A site. I mean, so far so good, right? In terms of having a strong start on beginning halves for Catface. You win both pistols. Now you're about to win both ecos. Hopefully you're able to win a bonus right now too, because if you look at their guns going to the next round, you still have an Outlaw. You still have a Vandal to work with. Lunaflux could upgrade into a Vandal as well and still buy the next round. So this could be a huge swing round for Catface to start taking a good upper lead in the second half.
The Puppy Thieves were able not just deny Catface on their bonus, but make it a flawless. So that was how Puppy Thieves gathered so much momentum from there on out. Basically went 8-2, and man, some good damage. Catface hoping to farm up some orbs here as Lunaflux checks the wrong side of the road before crossing. But Puppy Thieves won't be able to collect and pass go. So now only 2 rounds separate these two teams. And I think Catface winning those 2 rounds cleanly as well. This could be the start of something good, but all eyes are on this bonus.
Yeah, and he also tried to mitigate as many orbs, or deny as many orbs as possible to Catface. So only Raven is the one that's looking closest to her ult, but it's going into a showstopper that's 4 pips away. But you talked about it, right? We just mentioned it before going to this round. It's an important rifle round for Puppy Thieves to continue their lead, but also a big swing round for the momentum of Catface if they're able to convert this. That, again, they still bring in a strong buy into their bonus here.
Kind of an early slow orb too, just really trying to deter the attack after the wall was immediately shredded, and maybe that's what Catface have to do. Just play with their food. Elaborate would love to play the game. Won't be here for now. No solid lurk option. Kestrel maybe will step into those shoes. With a 2-1-1 split, Catface, their best chance would be to overwhelm B here.
Or at least able to avoid the paranoia, maybe 3-2-1 swing.
Oh, is it cracking that?
The timing.
That smoke. It's Scary Shark spots it, and that needed to be a moment for Catface to punish. And now they'll group, but this gets the attention of Terror, especially with... Okay, not gonna have the judge out, okay, until now. This could do a lot of damage. Now stepping in, it's the final kiss goodbye to Catface. They still will get the spike down. Snake bite won't be able to prevent that from happening. But with Blue Owl having this Vandal, this is going to be a good fight for her to take. These Puppy Thieves are all lined up like a firing squad, and Blue Owl doesn't even want to peek it. Just playing for time, playing for their lives. And here's this wraparound from Kestrel. Let's see if they can blend in with the enemy team. What a turnaround!
Oh, no.
A 180 from St. Claus! That should have been it! Kestrel could have done so much more, and Puppy Thieves extend the lead.
And it was a nice attempt, dude. You have to give it to Kestrel. She flanked around towards that back. She kept the patience with the crosshair placement. Wasn't trigger happy until, you know, she felt the pressure was moving towards that front B site against Blue Owl. So she had to try to make a play. So she gets the easy first kill, but just couldn't transfer onto the second one. So to turn around right after, I think that was St. Claus, who's been awesome this game so far on this second map. Is just hard to play against, and they had a beautiful double swing towards the end against Blue Owl, so a nice shutdown too. But again, Catface, because of the last couple of rounds that they had, though, still has a pretty strong buy to go into this round here with the amount of plants that they've had. They still have a chance here to turn it around.
And on this wall position too, just having a little bit of it on your side, you can create that illusion that you could be sitting on top of the wall, and that's something Catface just want to take every pillar down if they can. Now with the orb being down, sees potentially try to trap that Sage as Terror's stepping into it, gets baited into the fight, and Catface relish in that moment.
That's what I was hoping to see more from Catface as well, because you're not playing any like double controller. There's no Viper. Lurking is very difficult on the A side, so you need the double duelist in the Fade to do some action instead and not have the Fade lurk around.
Kestrel versus St. Claus, and what a swing, what a shot from Kestrel. Now the options are pretty open, and now we'll see how Scary Shark can fend off with just the Bandit, hoping to rob Catface of this round. A 1-for-1 wouldn't be too bad. Wow, all of Catface go into garage together, clearing it out as a squad, but this moment, this lapse, gives an in to Puppy Thieves to scratch the surface of this for Zoriental to go sicko mode, and now to look for the ace. And it's Blue Owl that had infiltrated the site. They had a 4 versus 1 there, I believe, and now it's all the dice have fallen. Blue Owl denies the ace. 1v1, Yara. Not able to get a better weapon at the moment. Caught with paranoia. Oh my god, the Red Bull clutch for Blue Owl yet again.
That was nice by Red Owl too, and just a little bit unfortunate for that 1v1 because Miara was still holding a Bandit. So that previous round, despite it being a round won by Puppy Thieves, they didn't have enough money to really play into this round. And look at that opener, because of the Sage Wall and also the first low orb, and also from previous rounds seeing that the Sage was playing a judge previously, they wanted to make sure that they season in and cover up that spot, and they caught Terror right away, and it allowed for them to open up the site here to get into B. But in the end here, it had to come down to that clutch from Blue Owl once again, and they're trying to stay into this fight. So far here, the economy is back into normal except for Terror, who has to invest more into utility to try to solve it. Still gets the drop and kill.
That was the angle you had to worry about with that Sage Wall, and Catface maybe wanted to slip that Prowler past the defenses before they were summoned by the Sage, and that's a wasted Prowler, and that's a huge opportunity for Puppy Thieves to strike early. Oh, this is the walk down. Zoriental just wins every single 1v1 she's in.
They went solo on a mission to instead to re-clear towards mid, knowing that the showstopper was fully invested deep into Robin. So that's an unfortunate missed call, but
how does Scary Shark get there? The drop down, that phase, that small gap that you leave has now been so costly, and it was the defense that already took all the right steps, and that will be Puppy Thieves getting to double digits, and that's the danger zone. It's series point as well.
30 seconds left.
yeah, Scary Shark smelled blood in the water and pounced onto that one and did a drop kill onto 2. But yeah, like I said, I feel like that solo walk clear back from sewers into middle was a little bit of a misplay to try to force a rotate out to create more question marks. Again, I feel like into this type of meta too, where wall contact could still be prevalent, you need to have somebody with you, especially when it comes down to like the previous rounds. Remember when they were trying to, you know, go in tandem to try to push out on extremities on defense, yet they still lost 2 versus 1s against St. Claus's Lurks on the A side in the hold. So they should have learned from that mistake a long time ago and making sure that they still had another buddy system with them if they want to re-clear as a team here in the mid round. But look at that shot, dropping down through smokes, getting that kill. Yeah, it becomes an easy round towards the end here for the Puppy Thieves. Now only 3 rounds away from winning out this series and moving forward in the upper bracket.
Catfish just need to maintain some form. They're only down by 3, so it's tough when you only have 1 hero vandal in this one, and it's in good hands, but Kestrel now left without hands after encountering the Outlaw, and now you're just trying to throw everything you can. Prowler, nades, seeing can force Puppy Thieves to be antsy, but it's Oriental that just waits with welcoming arms. Put down a slaughterhouse as Catface only have that hero vandal left, and still gotta respect it. Blue Owl takes down the goat. Now is hoping to also hold on to this vandal.
Yeah, Oriental is putting highlight reel so far too. Interesting to TP towards spawn, so they want to respect, give that space here for Blue Owl and to play as that buddy system that I said was missing here for the side of Catface. So props here to Puppy Thieves to play with that type of protocol, and that you're probably gonna have to give it to Tanny, still coaching this team from the X100 Thieves GC team. And as you see, Blue Owl is trying to go on a mission right now. She never was really close to that spike. She thought that they were going to be doubling up to watch it and think she has a timing for a backstab. And now at that point, you're going to walk through your own smoke. You still have to re-clear everything very slowly. Then you realize, oh crap, I only have 10 seconds left. And then that is going to make it even more difficult for you once the spike gets planted. And you're like, oh wait, I will give my position away every single time. And then they're just going to 2v1 me.
10 seconds left.
Okay, last second smoke and last second plant. There's going to be a ton of ults coming up for Catface in the future rounds, and Blue Owl can pull this off. This would be insane, just like she did on Ascent. Let's flash out, another one to go. Blue Owl playing with cover well. Paranoia as the Puppy Thieves surge, catching Miara in the second of 4K. Blue Owl, the Red Bull clutch queen.
Dude, Blue Owl too during the Swift stages had these beat moments as well, and she steps up to the plate one more time, and this is 2 clutches for her so far on this map, 1 in Ascent. And that is somehow still having so much util in the 1 versus 2. I think the dog was probably the nail in the coffin, and I thought it was going to be a guaranteed round there for Puppy Thieves. But look at her staying tucked in, avoiding a double spam. They're forced to reload. She hits a Paranoia, splits the defense as they're forced to reload, and also trying to be unblinded, and then she isolates 2 kills individually. That's just a beautiful clutch to see.
Now Showstopper. Bladestorm, so much for Catface to utilize in this round, and it's been about momentum. This whole map, Catface haven't been able to get more than 2 rounds back to back. So if you want to catch up, it's got to be here. Especially that morale's got to be boosted after Blue Owl does something like that. Now you're able to draw out that Sentinel util. You've been able to make Puppy Thieves nervous on this mid-fight. Pretty much conditioned to them to fight at that moment a lot. Just be careful, Zoriental. You got a high-low on the other side. Oh, but they're not watching it, and that's the timing. The Zoriental finds off the flash from Miara, placed behind, and now within the sight. Miara's gonna need some support, because within that smoke is the duelist and the whole army that marches on for Catface to get the plant.
First kill was perfect though, but we kind of overheated for that satchel from Zoriental towards the air to try to get info, because there was only one person there to try to get the info and try to capitalize on it, but here's that post play.
Steel Garden is the moment to strike while the pan is hot. I mean, Puppy Thieves just heating up, and just Catface. It feels like you have to play flawless to try and really get the Puppy Thieves low, and Blue Owl just has the Red Bull clutch every win. This is insane. How does she keep doing this?
This time too, lining up the two players towards the elbow in the default as well. I mean, there's got to be, I was going to say, it's difficult for you to try to go for alert activations because you don't have the Viper, but to have now Blue Owl to be the late alerts for the post-plant scenarios to be, you know, the win con for you as well for Catface. She's been awesome so far here on the split map. But they can't always rely on her. That's 3 rounds in a row, or not in a row, but 3 rounds that you have to commend Blue Owl that allows Catface to stay in this game. They got to be a little bit more better in these trades here on the attack.
Oh, watch for this insert, though, from Zoriental, immediately caught, but of course it's a nade of all things. The Nightfall showers down on the Puppy Thieves, who maybe need a much-needed cool-off, because Catface are about to tie things up, and they do so with 4 weapons being carried through. Now, this is a comeback.
And on top of that, they were able to cycle some ults too. I respect that. Go for the Nightfall in the anti-eco. Bring the Blade Storm to take that space around the Nightfall, and then just flood behind it, because you still have the Showstopper to work it this round. So use it to your advantage. Try to stay, as you mentioned, to just try to stay in this game, and I'll tie it up and catch up. Now, if they're able to avoid the ults from the side of Puppy Thieves, they'll be sitting in a comfortable spot here for the second half. But it took a bit too. It took a lot of clutches from the side of Blue Owl to get this momentum back. And now they just have to ride off that and making sure here that they don't always have to rely on that Omen controller.
St. Claus always has some... Okay, Prowler right into the stage wall. I was hoping to maybe break down that wall so the Prowler could get into vents or mail, and... Catface always create that initial pressure, but it's where they end that Puppy Thieves are trying to be ahead of it, and the Seekers will give them all the answers. Going towards mid. This Puppy Thieves gonna keep a keen eye as the second Prowler enters mail, forces Terror back, and now the Seekers may just be something that St. Claus could play off of, but deciding to play safe, and they're a much more conservative lurk on that defense, at least.
Because there's still a minute left, and right now they've realized the Seekers are pushing everybody towards a rotate on the B site. The wall got bait on A. They can start working up on middle and taking vent control back into the A site.
That's our space creator right there. Raven versus the Bird, though. No targets, no initial kills. Garage. Now that you cleared the back site, and it's 2 from Puppy Thieves that align. And Scary Shark opens up the first blood. Oh, the retake is strong from all sides. A paranoia from Blue Owl to suppress the top of the site. Scary Shark gets her second, and you have the Showstopper that gets immediately canceled. Puppy Thieves have more than enough in the tank, and now they're just kind of trolling. Blue Owl, though, you gotta respect it. 1v3. The defuse is just gonna be held. I guess we're just gonna give up the round and the gun. And that was some tomfoolery right there.
Yeah, they still got the round here for Puppy Thieves, but that was pretty funny from Blue Owl to be able to still get that kill somehow. But yeah, I was gonna say they did an awesome job for Cat. Well, actually, I'm not too sure, because I was gonna mention the Seekers kind of just baited the rotate over towards that B site, so they should kind of know that if they're going to brute force their way towards mail or whatnot, that it maybe could be weaker on the A site. They could 3v1 on that top, they could fight back towards the A main, and then maybe have to fight maybe only one more player, because, you know, Puppy Thieves already had all the information through the Seekers that most of the bodies for Catface was towards middle and B.
Different stage wall now, too, from Terror. It's Catface feeling their numbers as the pit secures mid, so adjustments from the Puppy Thieves, but one thing that stays the same, it's the first blood for the defense. This could be match point here very soon, along with series point. Catface, and they just ascend. Kestrel basically solo. Fence for themselves. Evens up the numbers. Still a flash left from Miara. Hoping to reposition. Do so silently. Catface reorient towards the high ground. And this is a big moment for Zoriental, which silently drops down. So Catface have to re-clear without having much information. St. Claus choosing to spell, but carefully the multi-kills ringing in. As usual for the Viper, and now everyone's being welcomed. Blue Owl in vents, pushed off by the nade, and Zoriental trying to chase. Now everyone is toying with each other.
30 seconds left.
It's Blue Owl though. But I gotta say, by the way, that pit looked like it was a bird when they set up that pit on the top middle.
I like trying to guess what state it looks like. All right, Blue Owl.
Here, this is nice smoke.
Is gonna go isolate that 1v1, and then based on the amount of bullets left, Miara caught out, 16 HP. Just a one bullet could end it. Blue Owl. Oh, just against Zoriental. That's a tough opponent to try and take down. And with that, match point, series point for the Puppy Thieves.
And it was a nice try too, because the spam was coming towards that smoke when they were trying to trade off after Miara falls. And then you paranoia, and then actually I feel like it hit Scary Shark, but Zoriental was still playing on the high ground, so it was hard for you to get a real positioning in the end there for Blue Owl. Look at that, it's a little bird on top. And a little wing towards that back of MEOW too. But no, it's just a beautiful timing that comes through one more time here from the Viper. So if you're looking at least from the way that Puppy Thieves have been playing, you have Zoriental that's putting multi-frags on the forefront face-to-face, and they have a St. Claus that's putting multi-kills in timings that she finds, and also denying any pushes against opponents too. So man, they're looking really good in terms of firepower for this team.
Upper bracket lives on the line here for Catface, just frolicking through the flowers. Kestrel is now gonna have to smell the flowers, just trying to make some big plays happen. Now nothing, and that is a really tough person to miss. Kestrel dropping a 20 bomb. Puppy Thieves, oh, don't even get punished. The plot armor behind Zoriental is crazy, and you'll rejoin Terror maybe for some heals. Worst case, you have a res.
I have the smite.
Puppy Thieves are already regrouping towards B.
It's Blue Owl with the ulti too, so if it has to come down to this and you have to get your way out safely, you're gonna be able to TP out. Nice little shot though by Raven.
Oh, it's all rezzed up. Puppy Thieves at full force. The final resistance potentially for this map as Luna Fox needs support. Gets the 3K and puts the cape on her back. 3 versus 1. And Yara still has a flash left. But man, when you have 3, those are the main 3 angles. Backside, Heaven, and Garage. Protocol seems easy on the post plant. Miara's gonna try and pick them apart. Flash to see if someone's towards the bottom. And now the rest of Catface can just play time. Miara, precious seconds gone because of that paranoia. Is gonna decide just keep the Vandal at this point.
Yeah.
Not gonna be any time to defuse.
It was an opportunity for sure. There was a lot of potential over peak and coming out from Catface one by one, where Miara maybe could have had some clean shots, but after she gets hit by that paranoia, you get deafened, you can't see anything. That's repositioned that's possible there for Catface, so you fall back and try to save your weapon. If you look at the economy for the rest of the team though, it's not going to be the cleanest, right? Scary Shark's already down to 0. They could try to maybe fight for maybe an orb control, try to get Zoriental up to a showstopper very close, which could be probably a big nail in the coffin if she's able to get another pick off at the same time. But that could be said for Lunafox as well to go for orb control fights. So which is why I'm liking so far here for the look of B main, that you have literally Zoriental there and then Lunafox moving in with the rest of the team to try to go for potentially that fight on B side. Still hesitating a bit, but it looks like we're going to play more passively actually for Blue Owl, who's going to be watching that line while the rest are just trying to make noise in the middle to break the wall instantly.
An orb would be beneficial for Lunafox as well with the Nightfall, and now that the Sage Wall has been broken down, the more typical defense for the Puppy Thieves. This is anything but typical for Scary Shark, who is a safe position to retreat after marking 1 towards spawn. Catface hoping to leverage Elaborate what info she can get towards the right side of the map. And this is Catface with a lot of weight on their shoulders to try and force OT.
Surprised that falling back too, Oriental didn't pick up the orb though, because they knew the spacing that they had the timing to take it. So now it's going to have to come down to Oriental just fighting the crossfire. Oh my god, that's terrible.
It's crazy. Elaborate has wrapped around through screens to the top of heaven and sends 2 to heaven. Puppy Thieves through ropes, the Seal Guard and preemptive here from Elaborate to just try and secure this, basically this whole part of the map by herself. Blue Owl will join. Now you have a 2-2 split for Catface on the post plant. Boombot not gonna reach Catface as Nightfall to assist. Catface have a good fight going for them. And Puppy Thieves there to step up. The shots have to be clean. And Elaborate basically gets 4 in that fight. That round, this overtime, all thanks to their Sentinel.
That's so interesting what happened there on that round. I don't know still how Elaborate made it up to A heaven, because we're so focused on fighting towards that B side and maybe trying to control that orb that maybe somebody played a little bit too soft for us. But yeah, look at that. Look at the sky. MEOW played it at an angle too passively, tried to rotate back towards that spawn, missed the timing as she's jiggle peeking. And then suddenly you see now that Elaborate is able to come through and open it up here for Catface. So again, the win con that we mentioned during the Swiss stage for Elaborate becomes that win con that allows for them to fight for survival and maybe bring this to a third map if they can.
Pretty crazy. This was an 8-4 half for the Puppy Thieves, and Catface winning both pistols. Now it's do or die. Flash gets no info there from Yara. Catface will have 1 in the back pocket. Boombot, dog, nades, a lot of good informational tools. Catface also trying to stay composed in moments like this. Now we have a stalemate.
Maybe a little too composed as well. So they're not really trying to find the info yet. They boombotted and haunted. So that's like, okay, well, they still don't know how many players are actually there towards that B main because it's just potentially a lurk. So now it becomes, how do you play the rest of the round? Should Elaborate start falling back a bit again because she's playing, for me, such a off angle that's a dangerous position when she's played it before in the past.
Okay, slower towards vents. It means a flood through mail and a late smoke. Blue Owl's gonna force some execution here out of the Puppy Thieves. Blue Owl, I love this angle, and works in tandem with the duo. Gives up that space. Gonna be tough for Puppy Thieves. Crit past this. Scary Shark lights up too. This is disastrous for Catface. Puppy Thieves step in and get everything they've wanted and profit. This Elaborate has to be the one to achieve a 1v4.
And with this plant, at least no seekers, but they already have a wall up. Somebody watching flank as well. They should know here that Elaborate should be walking from spawn. Smoke gets refreshed, so hard to retake. On top of that, gets spotted. You gotta come up with a miracle right now to try to win this round.
Just not having the time to go through the staircase. Deal with that person on the high ground. And this is now just talking maybe about the next round at this point. Puppy Thieves. Huge heroics from Scary Shark through the garage side, lining up that double, spacing these mistakes. Puppy Thieves have punished it in the past. That 13-1, they're as clinical as ever. Now split could go their way as well.
That should have been around, or at least a duel or a battle loss, sorry, towards that B main. 2 players swinging perfectly into Scary Shark. Maybe they were a little bit lined up too. So that 2-piece there, and then the paranoia from Blue Owl. It hit all 3 on the top of B heaven, but all they did was spray into that direction and took her down too. So it was difficult for them to anchor up that B site after losing so much so early. Unfortunate, as now it's a chance for the Puppy Thieves to actually steal this one back. It's such a good lead here for MEOW at the beginning, but it's now Puppy Thieves that once again takes full control of this map of split.
Poison's on.
Just that wall alone is marking like 2 or 3 people shooting at it. Like, Catface aren't really hiding their numbers, and once the slow orb expires, this is used pretty early for Puppy Thieves, so St. Claus could watch this all cross by. Catface want to be loud and proud, but now they're starting to be worried about Vent's control.
And yeah, it's just normal too. Now even the Prowler sees the person on the top of vents. The thing is right now with the 3 players working on mid and breaking that wall, you've broken the wall, you've forced out the 2 slow orbs. That means that if you're trying to hit towards that B side, the only thing that could slow you down is a paranoia. There's not going to be a wall of slow orb on that side. So you're in a perfect position right now to at least trade off from the paranoia, especially if the satchel and a dash can close in the gap from this paranoia.
Scary Shark trying to be that ultimate anchor combined with terror.
30 seconds left.
Now from the good old days of the 100 Thieves, they're now trying to be the top dogs, but a blind. Oh, Scary Shark manages to get into cover, tucks away. Terror wants to wrap behind. Scary Shark emerges. 2 kills, 2 fall for Catface. And 3 left still to plant. And the smokes are in place, but so is St. Claus, who has been such a clutch master for this defense. Now this is where all the cards come tumbling down. This is for the win, and Puppy Thieves have done it. They've cashed in their ticket to the semi-final.
A nice little retake towards the end as well. Beautifully done towards this whole series, but it's still, as you mentioned, going to be Puppy Thieves moving forward. A decisive win at the same time too from the first map, but at least if you're looking at it from the side of Cat